Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Good to have you. So, if I have any sneezing, coughing, anything like that, it's because apparently I'm sick again. I don't know what it is. It must be the season, I don't know. It happens all the time and I can't seem to avoid it. What a pain. What a pain. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a look here then. Let's just see if I can get the chat up on the phone here so I can see what you guys are saying, if you're indeed saying anything at all. We do have mixed tan. We do have some offensive actions planned. But we have them taking place really in the north. The south, really, I'm kind of waiting for my forces to recover. Why is it not letting me see? There we are, now I can see, Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Right, in a moment I can see the chat. Right. My internet's super slow right now. We are getting an upgrade at home, which is pretty bloody fantastic, actually. So that'll make a big difference. Jesus Christ, these bloody YouTube ads. Hey, Luba, good to have you, my man. You've been playing the game yet? Hi. Right, so, essentially what I'm doing over here, then, is I do have militia forces moving to take basically the garrisons over here. I am moving more remaining forces up over this way. We do have a army moving over to Venice. The idea there is just basically sit on top of Venice and just subject it to a siege. Just put some pressure on there, because obviously he needs that point. It's a strategic town. So it'd be nice for us to take if we could take it. I'm hoping that these sounds are working here. This game, I don't know, sometimes it's very much a pain in the ass. But anyhow, so we are pushing forward with an offensive over this way into Giz. I don't even know how you want to pronounce that. I'm thinking about throwing down gas, but I'm not super sure it'd be worthwhile, frankly. I'm kind of hoping that our forces nearby will support that action. We'll see how it goes, really. I'm going to take a bit of a bet on that one. These British and French forces have been whittled down somewhat. I'm hoping that we should be able to come out on top. I do have the the air forces moving over here to Hindenburg to try and bolster the commands over there, basically. Try and make them just simply beefier. I've taken a corps out from these two armies over here. We're going to have a corps moved over here to Brière and one moved over here to Metz. The idea is just to really boost our defences in this area, but also just establish the actual proper trenches over here at Metz. We'd have them, but just make sure. I do have the artillery to go down here. It was originally going to Sedan, but it's now headed down this way. So, again, I'm hoping that we will actually have a successful action over here. I do have the army, but I do have a number of calls going over there as well, and I'm hoping that will be enough. We never quite know, but I'm going to give it a go. Ho, ho, ho. And over this way, I've decided to have the High Seas Fleet actually set out on something of an offensive action. We're going to go for like a offensive but faint probe attack. So basically, we'll attack unless the enemy's collapsed by the second round, then yeah. But I'm going to go over this way. There's no mines over here at Filey Bay. So I'm going to go for that. I'm hoping that we may be able to intercept the enemy, maybe intercept the ground fleets over here. But I'm going to try and give it a go. Try and like catch him with his pants down. We do have a slight advantage over here, but I'm hoping that we might be able to catch something out. That'd be nice. I'd love to reorganize a fleet, but they're a pain in the ass to reorganize, apparently. And it is rather annoying, but hey ho, what can you do about that? Right, that needs going back across to the mainland. So I'll have that go over there. Can take on some supply then. In Turkey, I do have his corps moving up over here. I think the sound's gone on the game for some reason. It's a bit of a pain in the arse sometimes to get these things to work properly. I do have my army command arriving over here under Hassan Izzet Pasha. And we do have this corps moving up over here. So soon enough, I'm going to go ahead and begin to pressure the British and French forces there in Anatolia. That's going to be nice. Hey, did that SC League? Good to have you, my man. Sylvain Gallo, good to have you, my dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm on Wi-Fi right now at home, but there's a lot of pressure on the network. It's not particularly great on Wi-Fi. I should really invest in another PowerLink adapter. I did, but because I left then home twice, It's gone to my little brother, so hey ho. I'm just gonna have to deal with it, eh? Right, so that's generally the gist of things right now. Over in Egypt, I'm really just hoping for a chance I can just break through over here in Egypt to the Suez. But it really does rely on him having to pull these forces out of Egypt. In Mesopotamia, I'm moving the cavalry over here just to try and create some issues. Like, these guys are having a hard time. Mesopotamia is not nice. It's all swamp and shit. It's really not good. It's really quite harsh. It would need depots all along here. And it does have a depot over here at the mouth of the rivers. But where does it go from here, really? It's not easy. You really want to have rail lines to have like a pretty good offensive. But alas, we have those rail lines, don't we? But yeah, things are generally looking alright. Pushing over here, waiting for these forces to build up their cohesion, then we'll push across the river. We're going to push over here to the north, and we're going to try and launch an offensive action with the High Seas Fleet. So, God willing, things will go well. The war's going pretty well. Russia has collapsed into revolution, so we do have Russia out of the war. But in all honesty, it was very much up against the Russian player, and Plumbersmack did a fantastic job. Not that we're actually getting any real benefit from the East. I don't know if that's due to a bug with the game version I'm using right now or what, but yeah, I didn't really notice I've got some cavalry out here. Completely forgot about these. This Ottoman cavalry would be nice in Anatolia. I had completely forgotten. I've also got this faulty mouse that's kind of annoying. Like, I thought it was an issue with the game. It's just, in fact, an issue with my left mouse button. Like, it just doesn't... It, like, kind of clicks when it wants to click. It's a bit of a pain in the arse. So I'm going to hopefully get that sorted in the near future. Hey, Dunahakon, good to have you, my man. Yeah, so I'm hoping that we can cause a bit of a problem. How you doing, Ableton? Good to have you as well, my friend. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that we can try and cause a problem for him in Anatolia. Because we have split off some of his forces from the supply lines. See, now it's being weird again. Let's see. Get the cavalry. Get the cavalry. Get the cavalry. There we are. Yeah, sorry about that. That's a mouse. Yeah. Yeah, mice are pretty cheap. I've got like a nice Alienware one, but honestly it wasn't worth it. And the only reason I bought it was just really because I got other stuff from that brand, and it was nice to have that brand. But hey ho. Oh, I wouldn't... Honestly, Gallo, you've been consistently nervous about the Ottoman Empire, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just like... really unsympathetic to the Ottomans. But I feel like we've got the situation going pretty well right now. I think I may have the cavalry push up over here just to keep an eye on the enemy. Just keep an eye. Effectively hound him, really. Evade combat would be ideal, actually. I don't want them to get involved in combat. I just want to have that pressure on there. But yeah, we're going to be pushing this way. Excuse me. Once I do have an army actually formed up over here, I'm also going to see what happens over here. The Dardanelles entrance were quite well protected. Like, we have the fortresses over here. If indeed they would automatically open fire, I'm not too sure. But we have the mines there which protect us. At least give us a lot of sting in that tail. He's not likely to go to a mined area. But I'm going to be moving out here when I can. But right now I don't really know jack all that's going on here. Yeah, well, even then, the Ottomans do have strength. It's just this area is just really favourable to a defender. Anatolia is really nasty to fight in. So I'm fairly comfortable in all honesty. I might even have these guys actually brought down here to form another supply depot somewhere. I could even have it maybe used down here. I don't know if I can go into the Mediterranean proper. Probably not, but maybe they can. Who knows? Generally, things are going well. We're both very close to having level 3 tanks, so I'm thinking that may unlock more tanks for us to build. So I'm going to hold on to some of the resources I have right now. But what I'm planning on doing here, because I'm going to raise more German generals, what I'm thinking about doing is essentially building all of the light artillery that I can build, because I can have artillery corps. And if we take a look over here at Germany, for instance, I've got 59 units of field artillery that I could build, and they don't have a huge amount of like combat power. But I'm like thinking, you know what, I've got 59 of those I could build. I could actually bring quite a few more guns to the battle. and they're relatively cheap, but I'll use them for tanks if not, so we'll see how this goes. So as the Entente have troops, yeah, exactly, and this is where we've been quite fortunate to the fact that we have troops diverted away from where the real battle is, and that is going to be in Western, well, in France, basically. So we'll go ahead and save it here, and then we'll go forward and take a look at the turn. I don't think game sounds are working because it's just decided to not work again for some reason. I don't know. The game's particularly touchy for some reason. But I'm hoping that we'll have reinforcements come from Refil, how are you going to pronounce that, to reinforce in the north there. But we'll see. Those forces have been hurt. Maybe he's not too keen on keeping them in the location, I'm not sure. I did think about withdrawing the forces from Saint-Mihiel over here to Bria. But they're on a setting where they're set to defend and retreat if engaged, basically. But it looks like he's railing more forces, maybe north there. I was going to blow my nose, so apologies about this. I'm so sorry. I should have muted, but I forgot what the mute button is. Oh, so we do see the Grand Fleet here. Maybe we get an engagement. Right, so seeing French, Anglo-French forces there. Apologies once again for the cold. I'm just sick all the fucking time. Alright, so we've seen some additional calls of there. I did move in a second call. We do have hills. We do have level 3 entrenchment. I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to engage. Maybe we might get an engagement there, but it looks like we might bypass each other. But we'll see. We do see forces over here in Italy. Seeing the calls over there, we do have that second core, and again, we're in the hills. So I'm hoping that will help. He's withdrawn those forces there, it seems, so that's good for us. It means we're bottling them up again. See forces move around France. We're on day 3 here. We are seeing a large fleet out there. So, yep, he's recognised a threat. I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to engage the fleet there, but I guess he kind of concluded that we would go back for home rather than go on the offensive, so shows you how both players are thinking here, eh? Ooh, we do have an engagement, actually. We don't have game sounds, but he's in the mines. So we lose 5 ships. He doesn't lose any ships, so this is a defeat here for us, the combined Austro-Turkish fleet. But he's in an area of mines. He may come to regret this, and hopefully these guns will actually fire upon him, but we'll see. Right, so seeing French forces over here. Not seen. I think it'll take us about 7 days to get to the northern area. Right, there's a fair few ships out here. We'll see what happens, actually. We don't have any miners beyond Persia and Afghanistan. I was going to actually send my ships down here. I kind of regret not doing that. But it looks like he's going to go ahead and link up over here. But, well, we'll see. We'll see. Right, so it looks like there's been a force reduction over here. Maybe he's moving back. But yeah, the Grand Fleet is down in place to block us, but we'll see how that goes. I can always move into the Netherlands if I want to be honest. So we'll have that. We're on day 12 here. 13, 14, 15. No battle to the north? Yes, we have battle here. And it looks like he has withdrawn forces there, so we can see that we have 400,000 men in this immediate battle. And we do have a German victory here under the command of Heinrich Hein. So it looks like, yeah, that was pretty good there. Wow. So we lost 14,000. It looks like 1.2 million men in total here. So we had, the game's a lot more exciting when you have the game sounds, but hey ho. So we had here Hamilton's army there. 6,600, yeah, 6,662 losses. So not a great deal of losses, but it looks like he has lost the actual field there, which is good for us. So we've taken that which we wanted. Yeah, we have. That's great news. We do have our aircraft over here. You can see apparently all the aircraft going crazy. So yeah, we'll reopen things. I would have preferred the game sounds on, but hey ho. So there, Josh, how you doing there, my man? We did take another province over here in France. He is having to respond to this, and the good news is we do have pretty good reconnaissance around here now. I'm going to put that down to having, like, it's about 400 to 500 aircraft in that area. So that does help. Apparently got that one, which is really stubborn there. Let me just go ahead and open that up again. I don't know why the game sounds don't work, but hey. Right, there we go, it's gone. Right, so we're into the next turn here. We're in 1917, late April. Let's go ahead and check on tech. Boo. Okay, neither of us are at level 3 yet. That's going to happen at some point soon. Speaking of diplomatic alignment, so the Greeks are solidly neutral, which is surprising considering what's happened in their country. We do have Afghanistan there at 68% and Persia at 77%. So we'll get Persia and Afghanistan in the near future, which would be very good for us. I was kind of hoping that we could have engaged the enemy fleet It is larger than ours, but yeah. So you can see the Grand Fleet is over here, and it looks like the French fleet as well. It does make me wonder if there's anything I could do about this. I don't think it'd be worth it to break for the Mediterranean. Mostly because I couldn't really do anything there. There's a blockade, right, apparently the blockade's still going, which is kind of a shame. I was hoping that we could have broken the blockade, but there may be a chance that the blockade actually diminishes. So we had war weariness, we didn't get any morale this turn, which is okay. Ah, so still British forces over here in the tile. That's interesting. They may not have been able to retreat due to the patrol rate of the forces here. But the good news is I have the Dutch forces over here that I can move up if I want to. I have here Hindenburg's army. Hindenburg does have all the aircraft in here. And there's a lot of aircraft. There's also additional guns in here now. But yeah, there's a lot of aircraft in here. Even the seaplanes, which really... And the Russian seaplanes, by the way. So, you know, maybe they should have been moved elsewhere. I had expected more, but it looks like he has increased the size of the force over here at the Dun. He may be looking to push on to Bria, so I do need to bear that in mind. But we can see that we have... Well, we have a much nicer picture of the battlefield here right now. We're looking at mud over here. We're looking at clear terrain over here. Right. Not ideal in this position, but it is good for us as a defender out here. We do have our depot in place now, so it should be operational next turn, which would be nice. Let's take a look at what we have here then. So increased support in Afghanistan and Persia. Called up new generals. We have a breach over here at Trento. Interested to see men out there. Yeah, 5 hits to the men within Trento. I could probably take that now, to be honest. So we have our forces over here then sitting on top. Yeah, support for war decreased in Serbia. Who could have imagined this? Who could have predicted this? Alright, we've got the depot over there. Started building a depot. Some additional ships nearly repaired over here. So what I need to do then is just simply not have the ships going to port in passive, otherwise they'll never come back out, basically. I do wonder what happened over here, because they did move in. In theory, he should have been hit by mines. Yeah, they took some hits there. We lost about 5 ships, but I'm hoping that he hit some mines, but hey, it was worth the go. Alright. He's got some forces out here, but not a huge deal. We actually have some supply now, which is good for us. The important thing is... Now, I could even potentially go around here. And maybe hit this position, because I've got control of the ground. But how many men does he have here? He's got an army here, but it does make me wonder. Let's take a look. So I finally got an army commander over here now. He's not exactly great. He's a defensive commander, if I may say so. I'll organise a proper army here as best as I can. See what we actually have, what commanders we have, basically. Yeah. So, yeah, what I'll do then is I'll merge the corps in together, and then we'll form up a proper army here. Like, because I've got quite a few men. There's about 260,000 men here. I just need to form them into proper commands here, though. Yeah, it'd be really nice. Can you imagine playing like a Cold War version of this game? That'd be really interesting. But yeah, I'll go ahead and reorganize the Turkish forces out here. I think it's predominantly infantry. Some mountaineers, though. Got some mountaineers and artillery over there, which is nice. And yeah, got quite a few mountaineers, actually. About 4 divisions of mountaineers. So not terrible, actually. No artillery, really. A little bit of medium artillery, actually, I should say. Excuse me about that. So, what I could potentially do here is maybe leave behind some corps. Maybe some just light corps, something of that nature. We do have a commander back over here, which is pretty great, actually. And then I could potentially rail around here. Like, how long would it take to get to this position? It would take 21 days, so just not quite enough for me to get there in a single turn. Put that down to the crazy rails. But we could try an offensive over here. I don't think it'd work right now. So what we'll try and do then is I'll reorganize this when I get a chance. This will be off screen basically, and maybe I'll leave a couple cores here and then have the army come around this way. It does depend. I could even have the army move along here to Pergamon. Excuse me, and then I could maybe move through Pergamon into the countryside over here. Yeah, GG's World War One. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Actually, I'd like that too. That could be an option. It depends really on how much supply he has here. He has supply in here, but it's got supply actually. It's just it's not an ideal situation for him. He's kind of been bottled up now, and it's not going to get really any better. He had the impact that he wanted. They just couldn't keep it going, unfortunately, and that's because of the terrain there. Not anything to do with player skill. It's just a really freaking hard place to fight. Last turn was great. This turn not so great, but still a good turn nonetheless. So we got hit over here. Apparently 2 units lost over there. Interesting. I hope he got hit by the mines. I'd like to think he did. Right, 11 airplanes. We're going to see a lot of air power. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of air going on here. Right, so they retreated, taking 44 hits, which is good. These hits do add up. He's taken quite a few of them, actually. It looks like we kind of came out okay in the air war. Nothing too tremendous there. Right. Okay. Yeah, exactly. A hovercraft flying over mines, yeah, pretty much. I've got to assume that they have been hit by mines. They definitely went in there. Mines seem to apply in that way, so who knows. It would have been nice had we been able to engage the Grand Fleet, or at least an element of it, because I think I could probably have taken this element. Obviously, as it is now, it's not particularly great. That is with... I did get his transports, though. Come and get them. So yeah, they're going to go back. I'm going to make use of those bitches. Yeah, so I don't think it's too happy about that. But I could move into the Netherlands, no problemo. I could just move to, like, Amsterdam. Maybe he could get there before me, but I can really take, like, a roundabout away. Yeah, it's a shame I can't really do anything over this way. But we have kind of been playing with a blockade here. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, let's see. Take a look and see what we have in terms of new generals. They're big deal. So let's go to Berlin. Right. Quite a few here, actually. Not a fan of the colonials. Because I can't really do all that much with them, but hey. Oh, he looks pretty good there. So we've got defensive engineer and a siege expert. That's an interesting one. Oh, he's a very fine commander there. Fast mover infiltration tactician. Very nice guy. And we got Eric von... Ah, interesting. 2-star. Open order tactician and scorched earth. Cool. Yeah, so not a bad crop. 3-2-1. 4-4-1. Eventually, Britain would join. There's some consideration on our part, basically about whether they should have joined a lot sooner, but I'm not sure. Right, so I do have these new generals then that could be moved to the front. The question is where to move them to the front, but we'll figure that one out. Yeah, we'll see. So let's go ahead and check on F9. So he's below the 40 mark, which means that... Oh, what you call it now? Muted has become possible. He's at 2.2 million lost. We're at 4.2, nearly 4.3 there. Yeah. The interesting thing is it's like we're in a very nice position right now. This is all clear terrain. I've got the opportunity to continue attacking over here, which is pretty good. And I think I probably will continue to attack there. These guys over here, I could go ahead and just set to offensive. They're going to be more likely to march to the sound of the guns then. By the way, when you do march to the sound of the guns, you don't gain the benefit of the trenches, I believe. At least the reinforcements don't. Which kind of sucks, but hey-ho. Yeah, the tank's doing pretty good. Some experience on these guys. Experience makes a big difference, and I think that's why he's been kind of kicking our ass in the air. Because his fighters just been gaining experience, and it's not great. But we do have the A7Vs over here. Hopefully we'll be able to move them up for, soon. But yeah, I have the additional artillery. I could put that in another army. Maybe share out some of the air power too. That'd be a nice idea. But I will do that. So yeah, the supply situation's not ideal. But it will get better. The weather right now is pretty good. We also do have this second line of advance over here as well. I do feel he's lessened the amount of strength in this area. I feel like he may be going for Brière, which would make sense. He could go for Brière, move it along way, and cut off this entire thrust. So I do really have to weigh up the advantages of holding on to Saint-Brieuc. But at least with that now, I don't know, it's one of those, isn't it? What do I gain from it? What do I lose if I move from it? What I'm thinking is if I do abandon it, I can move, like, 5 cores. Obviously, this would be a 6 core here if I didn't have a core commander. But I could move, like, 3 cores. Well, technically 6 cores of men elsewhere and bolster this line. And still remain strong here. But again, he has some really big problems because really in Italy there's not anywhere near enough to stop us, which is pretty nice. The cohesion here is not obviously like reality as such. Or maybe it is and it's just not shown correctly. I'm going to assume it's probably not shown correctly, as a lot of these units well, actually no, it may be somewhat correct. They may need just additional time to build up that cohesion. I don't think I have a depot here. I should have a depot over here. Yeah, I've got a depot over here, but not a front line, so it's going to take some time. So we do have some fighters out there, not many. It comes down to which direction I want to go here. And there is a lot of consideration for having these forces moved up over here to Sensa. Because they could move into the forest, cut that rail line, and cut off his forces over here in the wooded hills. But there's a lot to be said about just going for the juggler, really. But then again, if I do go for that, I could be moving towards Verona. We definitely have the means to do this. I wish I had some siege artillery. There's also French forces over here, which is very interesting. There's quite a few French forces out here. What we have to do then is create like a big problem for him. You go southwest and cut over Verona. I could totally get that because you're going to cross the river. The river's the hard part, but once you cross the river, you're also going along the rail lines. But you're in clear terrain there. Well, technically woods. But then you could move right onto the actual city there. It's forcing him to have to concede this position almost entirely. I can totally get that. So we can do that. I may give my men a little bit more time. Yeah, I feel like I may give them a little bit more time to recover cohesion and then push forward. I don't think there's any harm in that. Making sure the men are well rested. Trying to build up the amount of supply as well, because obviously we've had a hit there. We should have a good weather for quite some time, or at least relatively long. And we'll see. He knows there's a big problem in Italy. He knows he has to deal with that. But I also have to deal with things too. The amount of shells stockpiled, by the way, looks pretty good. We're not looking to be lacking. In fact, we're actually at a level higher than we've had before, which is really nice. So that's going well. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do then is I've got the submarines over here to give us like good indications of where the enemy is. So I kind of know what's going on for the most part. Weirdly, I can see this position. So I think what we'll probably do is... I could go back over this way and head into Germany. Or I could just try and make... I bet he could probably make it there before us or near enough same time. I would have loved a fight when he was separated, but it looks like we have the French fleet here too. Oh, which kind of makes things a little bit unfair. But hey-oh, I stole his ships. They'll never get them back. So that was actually pretty successful. No, I totally get you there, Luba. And that's going to be the plan there. I think what we're going to go ahead and do then is... yeah, we're definitely not far. And the good news is he is having to spread out his men even more now. Honestly, what I'm thinking about doing is maybe leaving behind token forces of here, maybe just leave a corps or something like that, just to hold the ground. I don't know. I think maybe something like that, just hold the ground. Because then at the end of the day, when they do move into that province, they can't just move through, they have to fight, which slows them down. But I do want to reinforce this area, Brière, whatever. So maybe have this corps remain in position here, because it's doing me a relatively nice thing. It's pretty okay. Have a corps maybe remain here. Have a corps maybe reinforce this position. I did reinforce it with another corps though, at least, so it has been reinforced somewhat. Or even just have two corps move over this way. Maybe having two corps move over that way is not a bad idea. I could even have this corps move back over. I'll have this corps actually move to Brière. This is a single corps though, but it does have artillery, which is a nice thing. So maybe I do have that corps move there. I can tell you for a fact it's not going to take 16 days. Right. These are strong corps. I just need a commander there as well. 311. 311, 311. These are all just 311s basically. Right. Let's see. How they get free? Oh, it's because they've got another unit in there. Okay, that makes sense. Right, I see. That makes sense. Right, have them basically GTFO as soon as they can. Excuse me. So I could move a force up over this way as well. Which would not be a bad idea, actually. But I do think... Well, let's think then, let's think. So Rhymes and then West, and then observe if you moved units from somewhere you can break through elsewhere. But Paris being so close, it's time to say the least. Yeah, I get that. Yes, how do we get there, basically? Excuse me. I need a rail line. I think I'll have this push reinforced. The reason being I can be there in 5 days with 4 corps additional. Yeah, like 8 divisions, 9 divisions, as there's some militia in some of them. Okay, these guys are defensive. Alright, well these guys can head over that way anyway. It is taking a risk, because obviously I'm reducing the amount of strength over here. But I'm kind of banking on him just not going for it in a sense. Because yes, he can attack over here, but I believe I can maybe hold him off. Maybe. I just need to hold on to this area, and then I can come back with forces as needed. But in the meantime, I'm striking towards him. I need to incur pressure on him. I need to force him into something. We need to have him in a corner, effectively. It is one of those of, like, he is defending here, but he's defending with a lot of men, and what are these men doing? But it does feel like he's going to go for something over here. He could probably go over here to this area, but that's close by to these guys, so in theory they could be reinforced. It's an interesting one. But yeah, this army of Hindenburg's up to about 3k in its own, which is impressive. I could really do it artillery corps, I'm going to say. Right, there we are. Hindenburg's a fucking good commander. The reason why I like Reims is because it's a depot. It's a depot and I need depots. Like right now I don't have depots. This is just a distraction more than anything else. This is just for me to be able to engage with him. And that's only reason, really. I could move this general corps over here. Possibly gain the ground, but what do I gain by gaining the ground? I gain jack shit from that, basically. It denies it to him, but I don't gain anything from it. A World War I engagement is basically fought on the back of rail lines. We need those rail lines. This is just an exploratory, really. Right, I'd like to have something at Montmedy. Just kind of to dig in there, really. Right. What I'm going to go ahead and do here, then, is withdraw Mackinson. The reason being is I need to win. Still overburdened right now. But it's not that bad. But what I'm thinking then is if I can bring up another army over here, that'd be great. Do they get that advantage in hills? No hills and mountains needed. But do they... I forget if they get that advantage in hills. But what I'm thinking is I could have this army potentially reinforce this area, but also just be another army to threaten with. Also, Von Mackinson is a fucking good commander. But I tell you what, maybe... I think they're good in hills. I honest to God have forgotten. But I could even potentially have them used over this way and maybe have this weakness exposed. Yeah, there you go, Lubin, I'm ahead of you, my man. Yeah, I think reinforcing this kind of area would be a good idea. I need to look up how Mountaineers are again. I don't know why I've forgotten, but I feel... I need to double check. I've honest to God forgotten how they work. Anyway, they're good shit. But yeah, we could maybe even do something over here. Like if I reinforce this area over here, that's gonna cause some alarm bells to start ring-a-ding-dinging. I don't know if I've got them meant to be able to take this, but maybe we could. And it is an entire army of just mountaineers, like Jaegers. It's not that many, but it's about 100,000 Jaegers, and it's like kind of what they do. It is an interesting situation, but having another army would make a pretty big difference. It's kind of like, on the face of it, there's a lot of men here on both sides, which is having that just to tip the balance a little bit more, or to open up an offensive somewhere else would make a difference. But that said, would it make a difference? Probably not. Probably not. It wouldn't hurt to have additional men in the area, though, I'll tell you that. Von Mackinson is a pretty good general. Actually, he's not the best general. He's good strategic, but everything else is not that amazing. Yeah, he's just got some good stats. He's bloody fast, though. But that could be useful for areas like this, or... Where's the hills? There's not really that many hills out here. Yeah, we're kind of running out of hills. I could have him to help to lead the Dutch forces as well, try and make more of a Dutch forces. That'd be interesting. Maybe just bring him up to Montmedy for now. And then we can see where to move him. 18 days. 17, 16... Maybe at Metz to begin with. The reason for that is at least they'd be in a position to help out. But we'll go with that, and then we can think about what we're going to do there. I need to get some reconnaissance to really know what's going on here. He's got a lot of aircraft down here. But yeah, Yeah. Yeah, I could have them there. Ah, bugger it, we'll give it a go. It is a fair point, actually. If they're going to end up in a fight, they're going to end up in a fight, aren't they? So, may as well get in there. We'll see how that goes. But it would be a pretty big difference, because he'd be like, oh, hang on, why am I seeing forces increasing again over here? I don't know, cohesion's not exactly great, but how much cohesion do I need? Can I get across in a turn? I can get across in a turn, we'll go across. They can't make it. We'll go across with what can go across. All ashore, who's going ashore, basically. Yeah, well, we can have them support. The armies can reinforce, can't they? So that's fine. Let the armies like recover cohesion. Right. My mouse is all weird right now. Right, the remainder is going to be transferred to the Western Front. And what I'm thinking of doing here, then, is actually having them take control of the south to a degree, and then release my men. So 15 days they'll be there. But yeah, what we'll do then is we'll bring the Romanians over this way. So I don't really... I've got plenty enough for the Austrians. Well, they can remain as they are. Yeah, and the Bulgarians really are just... There's a lot of Bulgarians. Days. Like there is a fairly large amount of men here. There's a fairly large. What does that leave behind then? Just a single Bulgarian corps there. I don't think it's likely that he'll push down, I'm gonna say. I just need to maintain the siege over here. Eventually it will capitulate. But it really presents a lovely amount of pressure there, I must say. To be honest, I mean, maybe I have the forces to open up a lot of attacks over here, but hey, we'll see. Yeah. So I just need to do some reorganization, but let's see. These colonial commanders are just not really much worthwhile. But yeah, we'll go with something of that nature. I'll issue final orders on that before the next episode. But I think that's generally what we're going to do. We'll continue the offensive over here. I'll keep these guys as they are right now. I'll allocate the air power out, but yeah. The good news is we have like a lot of air power really concentrated, which means we hit even harder. Like, Hindenburg's up to 3,200. That's a lot of power. We are moving men around, but we are bringing von Mackensen. So, it's not a huge amount, it's not a huge deal, but it's another 100,000 men, and it does help to solidify our control. We are bringing the Romanians up over here, so a couple calls over here. It may just be enough. I mean, frankly, these are like the most defensible areas in Germany, for the most part. And, yeah, maybe we'll use that to our advantage. We unlock 2 more German armies with those forces to maybe move elsewhere. And it'd be rather interesting. Yeah, new episode soon, that'd be nice. Well, to be fair, I'm actually a little bit ahead of time on where I would normally be with like the law studies for the week, so that's quite nice. So yeah, maybe we can get one in sooner rather than later. That'd be quite nice. Just honestly a time thing really, but hey ho. Love doing this, love seeing you guys, and it's great to be here. Yeah, feel free to applaud at any time. Need more aircraft. Yeah, we do have additional divisions coming online. We've got the new corps commanders, which I need to figure out. But yeah, we'll try and go for something of that nature. I think, frankly, I'm going to leave this unit here, then. Because, well, if it does go for it over here, we can deal with that. But we do have another army coming up. We've got the Romanians coming up over here. We can then have that army or armies move up over this way. And I think, really, he's going to get to the point where we're stretching him quite thin. But I do need to move along rail lines. I could push out again, but I really want to fight this properly and methodically. I can't really afford to lose. And yes, we need to use that against him. So, thanks for watching, guys. Do hope to see you again in the future. So, do take care.